welcome to our place. We have 4 objectives in this project. The first one is to have a better understanding of Kernza and more generally on perennial grains by comparing different materials from domestication and hybridization. The second one is to evaluate the performance of Kernza in different conditions with farmers. The third objective is to introduce perennial grain inside cropping system by working with farmers on new prototypes to introduce these new crops. And finally, we have an interest to evaluate the economic value of the perennial grain by testing different production. We are producing beer with Brasserie Dulion, and we are also testing some bread. At Isara, we are running applied research, and we need to work closely with farmers and end users.
Hi everyone, my name is Christophe Bellet, owner of Brasserie Dulion. Graduated from Isara in 2010 and working on this specific process that led us to brew some beers with Kernza. The Brasserie Dulion concept is quite unique. We developed some fermented beverage like beer, but without using malt, only unmalted grain. Main objective of doing like this is to be able to source the cereals locally and to reduce our impact in terms of energy and water consumption. Second aspect of the process is that we can also work on any types of cereals. The idea came because when we actually were looking at the market, we just see that it's not like in the wine production. Making beer is really complicated to make it with local ingredients. We saw that the problem is that you have between the farmer and the brewer another industry called the malt industry. And so it's really complex for brewers to actually source local grains. So the idea was to skip this step in order to brew a really local beer, terroir-driven beer actually. So this is the core range of products we actually produce at the brewery. Here is, for example, a lager called Avant-Garde. The specificity of this beer is that we can actually we make it in 8 different versions. So we have some agricultural contracts with farmers based on the region we have around Lyon. We can actually produce a really specific beer where we actually sell it. So for example, this one is called Ultra Local 69. It means that the cereals are coming from Lyon and we distribute this beer in Lyon. The Ultra Local concept is something that is really interesting by bypassing the malt and being able to source cereal directly to the farmers. The second interest of working with the malted grain is that we have the possibility to really use the grain we're putting in the recipe. Just as an example, a wheat beer normally got something like 10-20% of unmalted wheat in the recipe, and it's always a base of malted barley. So you bring the flavors of the wheat, but not as far as we can go with our process. We can really bring the flavor of the cereal, and that's what we made also with the Kernza. The idea was to make a just simple beer without any specific hops or yeast around the cereal, but the idea was really to bring the flavor of the Kernza. Innovation in the brewery comes from the process, but also from the machinery. Working as we are doing is a bit specific. It's not exactly the same types of machinery we're using in a traditional brewery. The idea was to also develop a process that is less energy and water consuming. So we also developed some specific brew house system, for example for filtration, and also we are working on a specific full electric concept of production. The next step for Brasserie Dulion is to be also self-powered with renewables for production, and not just the valves and the pumps, but also the heating of the whole brew house.
The good part of my job is to work to support sustainability. And I really believe that Kernza could be one option to introduce more sustainability within European agriculture.
Good part of the job is to test the quality of the product. Santé!